All right, let's jump right in. Today we're talking about the Kabbalah. And look, we're not going to treat this like some dusty old historical artifact. No, we're going to look at it the way it was always meant to be seen, as a totally practical, living system for really understanding the deepest parts of ourselves and of the universe.
You know, the medieval mystic Paracelsus really hit the nail on the head here. He saw the Kabbalah as a key, something that unlocks what's hidden from plain sight. It's a way to see the inner machinery of reality, whether that's in ancient texts or, right inside our own minds.
So what is it really? Well, at its heart, the Kabbalah is a guide for a pretty profound personal journey. Try to think of it less like a topic you study in a book and more like an adventure you actually live. It gets called the Yoga of the West for a good reason, because just like yoga, it's a discipline for connecting your own consciousness with the whole shebang.
And yeah, the history is super interesting, but the main thing to get from the source material is this: the proof of the pudding is in the eating. This isn't some system you just debate about. Its real wisdom only shows up when you actually use it. So for this explainer, we're going to roll up our sleeves and really focus on how it works in practice.
So, our main guide on this whole quest is one central, incredibly powerful symbol, the Tree of Life. And I want you to know, this is not just a diagram. It's a full-on map, a ground plan for reality itself. Basically, everything we're about to talk about, it's all built on this structure.
Okay, and this is where the absolute genius of the Tree of Life comes in. It works on two levels at the exact same time. On one hand, you have a map of the macrocosm, the huge divine architecture of the entire universe. But at the same time, it's also a map of the microcosm. And that's you. That's the complex, inner landscape of your own psychology. You've probably heard the phrase, as above, so below. Well, this is it, in action.
This is exactly why we call it a living system. It's not some static relic you look at from a distance. Its real value is proven in the personal breakthroughs and the growth you get from actually working with it. The map literally changes you as you explore it.
So how do we actually use this map? I mean, what's the method? Well, just like any kind of yoga, the Kabbalah has specific mental techniques you need to learn to navigate its paths. It's a real discipline for training your mind to start perceiving these deeper layers of reality.
So the method really unfolds in 3 stages. First up is concentration. This is just what it sounds like, the ability to hold one single idea in your mind without getting sidetracked. Once you can do that, you move into meditation. This is where you start exploring that idea, letting your mind wander through all its connections and different layers. And finally, you arrive at contemplation. This is a real shift. It's a state of pure, quiet awareness where an idea isn't just something you know, it's something you feel. It becomes realized. It actually becomes a part of you.
Now let's look at the incredible story that the Tree of Life tells. And it's a big one. It's basically the story of creation itself. This epic journey from pure, formless spirit all the way down into the dense, complex world of physical matter.
It all starts at the very top, with a sphere they call Kether, which means the crown. You can think of this as the original spark, that first point of divine consciousness. It's the one single source that the entire universe just pours out from.
And this whole creative act, it doesn't just happen instantly. It actually flows down the tree in a very specific zigzag pattern called the lightning flash. Divine energy steps down through 10 different stages, or Sephiroth, and with each step, spirit gets a little more dense, a little more formed, until boom, it finally becomes the physical world we know, right at the very bottom.
Now, this whole structure is held in this perfect dynamic balance by 3 vertical pillars. Think of them as cosmic principles. On one side, you've got the pillar of activity. That's raw, expansive energy, pure force. On the other side is the pillar of passivity, which gives all that energy structure and form. And holding it all together, right down the middle, is the pillar of equilibrium. That's the consciousness that balances and harmonizes the other 2.
So, here's the crucial point. Why does any of this ancient stuff matter to you, right here, right now? Well, because that whole cosmic story of creation, it's also the blueprint for your own potential. The treasure isn't just out there somewhere in the cosmos, it's inside you.
And that, ultimately, is the entire goal. Working with the Tree of Life is a method for self-realization. By really meditating on these principles, you can start to bring all the different parts of yourself, your own internal forces and forms, into a state of conscious, harmonious balance.
So let's just quickly recap the big ideas. The Kabbalah is a practical tool, not just some abstract philosophy.
Its main symbol, the Tree of Life, is a map of both the universe and your own mind. The only way to really get it is through direct personal experience, using concentration, meditation, and contemplation. And the whole point of this amazing journey is to find balance and realize your absolute fullest potential.
So, we'll leave you with a question to chew on. The Kabbalah suggests that the most fascinating, wild territory you will ever explore is your own consciousness. The Tree of Life is the map, but the adventure, that whole psychic quest, that's all on you. So what undiscovered countries are waiting inside?